Did Kirby Smart's timeout in the fourth quarter save Georgia's season? That's the question that I have for you today. And I think it absolutely did. You know what play I'm talking about. You know the timeout called around the college football world, arguably the greatest timeout called in Georgia history, in playoff history, whatever you want to call it. That's what happened. I'm going to break it down right now. So let's start in the beginning of the fourth quarter. Georgia's driving. They have to kick a field goal to cut the lead to 11. So it's 38-27. Trying to get momentum, trying to get back in this game. They need a big stop defensively, and they got it. Ohio State goes 3 and out. 3-yard rush, incomplete pass, and then a 6-yard run by C.J. Stroud. So they got 4th and 1. Big decision for Ryan Day. You know he wants to go for it. The Buckeyes line up to punt from their own 34. So it's not a position necessarily around midfield, maybe a little past midfield. 8:58 left in the game. Critical moment, just under 9 minutes left to play. I mean, it's game time. And big decisions are made right here. And he lines up in punt formation, but Kirby Smart, the best coach in college football right now. I know that's going to trigger a lot of Alabama fans. He's number one, and he's number one for a reason, because he saw what was going down, and he said, you know what? I don't think this is right. I don't think I've seen this exact formation, before from Ohio State when watching them on film. So I'm going to call a timeout, and I'm going to do it quickly. So he gets the timeout called right before the snap, and the big punt was going to work. I mean, everyone saw it work. And I think that probably, it doesn't end the game, but it makes things a lot more difficult for the Georgia Bulldogs. If Ohio State keeps control, they're up 11 around Georgia's 40, their own 40. And then the clock just continues to melt. They've got the ball, fresh set of downs, up 11. Things are looking really good for Ohio State. Kirby Smart gets the timeout. Ohio State punts. And then on the very first play, Stetson Bennett hits Arian Smith 76 yards. Boom. Just like that, 2-point conversion. It's a 3-point game. That timeout changed the entire game. Actually, Javon Bullard's hit on Marvin Harrison really changed the game. I believe that was late in the third quarter. That changed the game, but this one saved the game for Georgia. If Kirby Smart doesn't call that timeout, Ohio State gets the conversion. Fresh set of downs. Clock starts running, and they're on their way to adding to that 11-point lead probably. And then I don't see Georgia winning that game if they, were to put up even a field goal, get 2 minutes off the clock, 3 minutes off the clock, get it back to 14. Georgia's in real trouble. That timeout was legendary. It's something that no one will ever forget when you look at this game years and years from now, or even with Georgia, if Georgia beats TCU in the national championship. That timeout is going to be one of the biggest moments of the entire season. And it sounds crazy to a lot of people because it's not an actual play made by the players, but Kirby Smart getting that timeout absolutely saved the season. And that's why he's the best. A lot of coaches can recruit and develop. You obviously have to be able to do those two if you want to be a successful coach in college football, but you have to know how to manage the game as well and understand what you need to do with the clock, certain situations. And Kirby Smart gets it. That's the question I have for Sonny Dykes too. Is he a guy who can do that? We know he's an excellent coach. He's got a track record. I'm going to go down it right now. He was at Texas Tech wide receivers and co-offensive coordinator from 2000 to 2006. Arizona quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator from 2007 to 2009. Louisiana Tech head coach from 2010 to 2012. He was the head coach at Cal from 13 to 16. TCU analyst in 2017. Got the head coaching job at SMU. He was there from 18 to 21. Did a really good job with the Mustangs. But scored a lot of points. Now he's at TCU. He's an excellent coach. This is a well-coached TCU team. The players love him, and he comes from a system where he knows how to get yards through the air, and he's got a quarterback who can do that. So we know he can coach. We know he can develop his guys. It's going to be tough to always recruit out there at TCU, but can he manage a game? If Georgia's lining up in a 4th and 1 and you think they might be going for a fake punt, is Sonny Dykes a guy who's going to run and call a timeout in that situation? I'm not sure. I think so. I think he's a very good coach. Obviously, these are the two best coaches in college football this season, and Sonny Dykes knows what he's doing, but we know Kirby does too. Kirby's been through this. He knows what it takes to win a championship, obviously. Did it as a coordinator multiple times, doing it as a head coach. That's what national championship coaches do. When the game is on the line and you feel like something's just not right. And again, timeouts are huge. You want to keep those timeouts as long as possible because you know you're going to need them at the end of the game. He said, no, something's going on right here. We have to stop this. He did, forces Ohio State to punt. Georgia's getting that momentum back in the game. And he said, you know what? We just killed. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, so Georgia kills any momentum Ohio State had, forcing them to punt. Ryan Day did not want to punt. He wants to keep that ball and put up more points in this game. But no, they had to punt, and Georgia said, you know what? Let's go deep. Let's keep this going on our side. Boom, that touchdown to Arian Smith was huge, needed in the most, the biggest way possible. Not only did they need to score a touchdown that drive, but they did it quick. They did it in one play. And then boom, I think when that happened, Georgia fans are saying, oh okay, we're going to come back. We're going to win this thing. It's exactly what they needed. Again, Stetson Bennett was fantastic in the fourth quarter. Got to play fantastic for 4 quarters, I think, against TCU. But Kirby Smart coached like a championship coach. Now, I thought he got out-coached by Ryan Day for probably 2.5, 3 quarters, but it's the fourth quarter that matters. It's the biggest quarter. It's the one where you need to play at your best, coach at your best, and that's what Georgia did. They won the fourth quarter like they have all year long. That's when this team plays their best. That's when Kirby gets those coaching instincts going, and he knows what to do in just about every situation. And he has proved to be the number 1 head coach in college football right now, and it's because of the little things like that. Recruiting is, I cover recruiting. It is the most important factor in winning. You have to have players. You have to recruit well on the trail. Then you have to develop them. You have to coach them. But in-game situations and coaching is extremely important, especially in the fourth quarter of a game like this with championship aspirations on the line. And that's when it clicked in for Kirby. He said, no, we have to take a timeout here. Something is wrong. A lot of coaches wouldn't do that. A lot of coaches would just say, okay, great, we're getting the ball back. This is what we're going to do when we have the ball. No, they would have given up that fake punt, and then boom. The winning percentage, if Kirby did not call that timeout, would have gone down drastically. I don't know what the number was, but it would have been very, very tough to come back and win this ball game if he doesn't call that timeout and make them punt. And again, when you have a big momentum play like that, you got to go deep. Got to take a shot. That's exactly what they did. And it all went Georgia's way after that because of Kirby Smart and Stetson Bennett. A lot of people were saying that Georgia got lucky in this game. I don't know what they're talking about. Georgia made the plays. They made the big hit that forced Ohio State to kick a field goal late in the third. If they score a touchdown there and go up with 17, I think, according to my notes, then they're in real trouble again. Made them kick that field goal. Stetson Bennett made the throws. Kirby made the calls. The defense made the plays at the end. Georgia won this game. They came back and took it away from Ohio State. They did stun Ohio State. They were shocked. They thought they were going to win the game. They thought the game was won, I think, when they went up 14. The timeout changed everything from that point on. It was all Georgia. And you got to give credit to a lot of people, but Kirby Smart as well. A lot of people were on dog posts. There were a lot of, not so friendly comments about Kirby Smart and his defense kind of getting torched left and right in this game. That's something they have to improve on. TCU can throw it, and I think they're going to be in position to make a lot of plays throwing the ball. But the adjustments have to be made. Guys have to step up, and they did in the fourth quarter when it matters most. A lot of teams are great for 3 quarters. This Georgia team is complete. They play for 60 minutes, and they play their best at the end. And that's one reason why I do think they're going to win the national championship against TCU in 7 days. And again, the big reason why is because they have the best coach in college football. It's Kirby Smart. And we'll see how many game-changing, game-saving calls he makes next week. But he made a big one against Ohio State, and it was a timeout. A timeout call saved Georgia's season. What do you think? Drop a comment in the section below. Stay tuned to Dog because we have so much coming this week. Can't wait to keep y'all covered. Lots of videos coming, but sign up to the newsletter. We've got, I mean, you get all the stories right there, simple email like that. Sign up so you don't miss a thing. We've got a lot of great stuff coming. We appreciate y'all watching. As always, stay tuned to the next video coming up right now. I'll see you over on Dog Post.